What's up, gang? Colton, Lindsay here with the WGR Live. I haven't done a live stream on a nighttime type stream for a while, so I'm just going to give it just a second so we can have people hippity-hoppity into this live stream. I think it's really important, this topic we're going to talk about tonight. What is leaving people broke, not only financially, but with their emotional state right now. As you guys hop on, give me some reactions or put a yes down in the comments below if I can hear you. My comments have been really jacked up recently. I can't even tell if I have comments right now, to be honest with you. I see we got Dan Herbert on here, Jessica Carlos, how are you doing? Drew Francis, Robert Morales, Taylor Jackson. Appreciate you guys being on here. Make sure to click that share button. Think about this. Like, what is it that you do, right? My guess is you hustle in some way, some fashion in order to get some of this, right? To get more money, right? My background is real estate sales. For those of you guys that follow me on the interwebs for a while, you know that I built the WGR real estate sales team. The whole reason I got into real estate was more money, right? So put a money sign in the comments below if that's one of the things that you're hustling for every single day within inside of your business. Why is it then that so many people are ending up broke today? Okay, here's the number one reason, and I facilitate one of the largest masterminds in the real estate industry, which is called the Real Estate Hustlers Mastermind, and some really top-notch individuals in there. And yet the number one thing that I see with inside of Real Estate Hustlers, inside of Financial Freedom Nation, with inside of Fearless Agent, is people are getting disconnected from the source energy that created everything that is. I want you to think about this just for a second. Put your hand right here on your heart and remember that motherfucker's beating in your chest and you didn't have to ask for it. Yet every single day, the speed of business is moving quicker and quicker. True or true? If you have noticed in the last 5 years alone, if you're a real estate professional person or a business person or an entrepreneur or a salesperson, the speed of business has accelerated immensely in just the last 5 years. You look at where we were 10 years ago, we were just being introduced to the iPhone, which you're probably watching this live stream on, you're watching it recorded or listening to my podcast, right? Hey, Carlos, thanks for posting. Robert, appreciate you guys being here, man. So then why is it with all this technology and the speed of business increasing, you are feeling more and more disconnected? You're feeling more and more pressure. You're feeling more and more stress. How do I know that this is the reality? Because you guys are sending me messages. The people in my mastermind are talking to me about it. The people with inside of Fearless Agent are talking to me about the stress, the pressure, the anxiety, the fear of never ever getting ahead financially. And there are 6 basic fears that are tormenting you. I'll give you 2 of them right now. It's the fear of death, the fear of your own death, and the fear of the loss of a love, the fear of someone in your life that's going to die one day. And instead of facing that fear, it's being brushed under the rug, right? But the other thing that's not being talked about today, besides the fact that we're not connecting to God as a society, I will say it, people are not connecting to God. It's talked about, but yet how often are we going into our place of prayer, our place of meditation? How often are we willing to step away from this so-called grind and just get reconnected, to just breathe? I talk about it in my vlogs. It's one of the major things that we talk in our sales organization. Those of you that are in part of Financial Freedom Nation, that's what we talk about. More than just money management and cash flow management. How do we control this state of emotion so we can connect? I want you to think about it right now. Pretend this is the source that has created everything that is. What if you could tap into that source energy so it's constantly flowing through you? That's your challenge right now. That's why you're being broke. It's because you're not connecting with the guy who created it all. Okay? The other thing is that's going to slap you upside the fucking face is the fact that we are in hyperinflation. How many of you can tell me what inflation is? Drop a 1 in the comments below if you are paying attention to the amount of inflation that's going on. Let me just give you some examples. 2007, 2008, we saw the largest stock market drop we've ever seen. In fact, in 2008, the Dow Jones was under 10,000 points. Can you tell me what the Dow Jones is today? You're right, ladies and gentlemen, 23,500 points. In just 9 years, that's the biggest bull market we have ever experienced in the United States. What happens after a bull market? Boom, a crash. But what really just blows my mind is the speed in which we are accelerating with inflation. One of the books I recommend that you go check out is The Creature of Jekyll Island, because fiat currency can't last forever. There is an explosive end towards this catastrophe that we're walking towards in the financial world. And yet, here we are, holiday season, Black Friday, one of the large, I think sales were up like 5% compared to last year just on Black Friday. How many of you guys saw the videos online of the consumerism going on with inside of the stores? How many of you saw Jeff Bezos just break $100 billion net worth because you and I, well, I actually spent zero money, this much money on Black Friday, just so you know. But people like you and I spending a shit ton of money on bullshit that they don't even need, that they can't even afford. How many of you fallen in that trap before? How many of you are currently stuck in that trap? And how many of you are done being in that trap? Because I'm going to let you know right now, until you can become aware of what's going on, not only in the physical financial world, the Dow Jones, the real estate market, the Federal Reserve, the entire economic situation right now is about to slap a lot of people in the face. However, it doesn't have to, because there's going to be a small percentage, and we're seeing it since the 1990s as the economy's grown. Guess what? The middle class has got even more poor, and the rich have got even wealthier. We've got more and more multi-millionaires than ever before. I mean, honestly, the fact that I'm 33 and I'm a millionaire was something that I never would have imagined growing up as a kid. And now I look back, being a millionaire is not that big of a fucking deal, yet we put a prize on that. We set our eyes on that prize as if it's a really cool thing. Okay? It's not that cool, because billionaires are coming out of the woodworks. Like, who's seen that movie? It's called, what is that movie? Wind River. Who's seen Wind River, right? It said that in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, the billionaires are kicking the millionaires out, right? Because money is so abundant now. Digits are so abundant now. You know what? Here's one of the things that I've observed as of recent. For those of you guys that follow me quite a while, I used to be pretty tempered on my live streams or my content or whatever I create. I don't give a fuck, but I give a fuck, if that makes any sense at all. But one of the things that I noticed is I started speaking more and more about one of my secrets to success, and it's my connection with God and source energy and the ability to connect and get grounded and get centered. I don't hear many other coaches, trainers, influencers, or people talking about that today. But the moment I started talking more about that, my viewers went down. It's the craziest thing. But guess what went up? My sales went up. Why? Because the people that are watching me, the people that are following me, they can start to feel just something a little bit different in my message. It's a message that I care. Okay, number one. But number two is it's not all about the money. Here I am trying to help you fix your problems every single day, while everyone else out there is trying to extract your money. And they're trying to do it in a manipulative format. And it's becoming easier and easier to manipulate you. I understand digital linguistics and neurolinguistics to a T, that if I wanted to extract money from you, I could do it so simply. You heard of ClickFunnels? You heard of Kajabi? These are actually tools that I use every single day. And what we're seeing is people that are misguiding and creating false information and creating this spectacular, unbelievable deal of a lifetime to snatch you in, get you to put your credit card information in for $7, and then wait, come and join my tribe for another $297 a month, motherfucker. Oh wait, I'm not going to tell you about that though until I start charging your credit card, and I'm not giving you your fucking money back. That's what we're seeing in today's society. So be careful. Just watch yourself, because here's the direction over the next 10 to 15 years. Number one, they just started creating on a high level nanobots. Nanobots are little robots the size of a nanometer that can crawl into your body and do shit, right? We are starting to move to this idea where technology is syncing up to the human mind and the human body. And I don't know about you, but I don't think the God that I believe in created it that way. Right? But that's the direction it's heading. So you got to set up your guard. You got to protect. And then the best way to win the economy going forward is to get grounded, get reconnected, and actually spend more and more time separated from your digital world, separated from your phone, separated from your computer, separated from your Netflix, separated from the shit that keeps you so connected. Because guess what? The speed of information is increasing, but your brain capacity is not increasing in how much information can go into your brain. And when that information goes into your brain, your subconscious mind is going to categorize it. It's either going to use it, delete it, or store it. Right? However, because there's so much information dumping in, your conscious mind gets overloaded super quick. In the first couple of seconds, boom, you're gone. After that, those people that understand the linguistics, especially digitally, especially with all the algorithms, are starting to predict your future. And the only way you get to create your own future now going forward, the only way you get to do that is when you step back and you breathe a little bit. My friends, be careful who you're following right now, because you're about to get fucked up by a lot of people. How do I know? Because of inflation. Follow the signs of dollars. Dollars leads to power. Who do you think's running our government? People that are very extremely powerful. People that want to be involved in government so that they can make laws that will directly affect their industry. Because what happens with their industry is the dollar flows into that. And when people get more money, they get more power. Not that power is a bad thing, but abusing power is the challenge. So here's what I want to do with you guys. I want to challenge you to spend more time connected with source energy. I don't even care if you didn't grow up religious. I don't even care if you don't believe in God. I don't even care if you don't even know what to do to get connected to source energy, because I am this serious that the people that cannot get connected to source energy going forward over the next 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, here into the middle of the 21st century, you're going to have more misery. You're already seeing it across the United States and the world today. You're having more and more mental behavior problems, more and more stress and anxiety and fear and worry and doubt. Can I make enough money to survive? Well, I mean, what the hell's going on with the amount of shootings going on the planet today, right? In the United States of America. This isn't a gun problem. How do I know it's not a gun problem? Because I carry a gun every single day. And guess what? I don't run around shooting anyone. I haven't shot one motherfucker with my gun. Why? Because my shit is straight. People that are starting to lose their mind and they're starting to get disconnected, they are making decisions that will affect their soul forever. And you are one of those people that has a chance right now to step up and say, hey, you know what? Enough is enough. I'm going to take a stand for my beliefs. I'm going to create core values. I'm going to have a clear, definite purpose, and with a plan that I'm going to execute on. And part of that plan that I'm going to execute on is going to create massive value for other human beings. And the moment you can begin to create massive value for other human beings is the moment you forget about yourself. The moment you forget about yourself is the moment you find everything you've been looking for. You find the peace, you find the joy, you find the enthusiasm, you find the excitement, you find that tranquility. Think about this. When's the last time you just felt like you could fucking breathe, man? When you could just sit back and you didn't feel like you had a motherfucking laundry list of shit you had to get done. Shit you had to keep up with just to keep up with the Joneses or stay ahead of your business, or what, you know what? My clients are texting me. If I don't do it, someone else is going to step up. I'm going to lose that client. That's the stuff that's happening in today's society. You've got to make a stand for your life and say, this is my life. This is my existence, right? Think about it. We're starting to see people live well into the hundreds. Let's say you get lucky enough to live to 125. And I know what the wealthy are thinking right now. How can we create immortality? Well, my friends, the only way you can create immortality is by connecting to God and the source energy. But we're seeing people think that they can outlive and that they can outwork God. That's the ego talking. But the only way that you can actually succumb to that and just relax is to surrender into it and realize, you know what? I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is wake up, connect to my source energy, listen to what he's asking me to do, and then I go and do what he asks. And I guarantee you what he's going to ask you to do is go serve other people. And it's going to start by serving yourself, putting that oxygen mask on yourself and breathing in. Start to connect to that source. I mean, do it right now. If you guys are watching this, breathe in. I'm seriously, breathe in just for a second. When is the last time you just stopped and had some conscious breath and realized I exist? I exist somehow, some way in the middle of all of this existence, in the middle of a planet with 7.5 billion human beings, with a 1 in 400 trillion chance that my sperm connects to the egg and creates me. I exist. And instead of slowing down and breathing and being grateful for what is, we're always worried about what's not. What's not in my bank account? What's not my body looking like? What's not in my friend or my network? How come I don't have as many likes, comments, and shares? How do I grow my Instagram, right? How many of you asked that question before? How do I grow my Facebook group? How do I grow my database? How do I grow my net worth? And these are all valuable questions, but at the end of the day, that's your ego talking. At the end of the day, the question that I want you to ask yourself is, how do I go connect to my God? How do I go connect to the one individual, the one source that created this 7.5 billion human beings, planet Earth, in the middle of outer motherfucking space? How do I connect to that source energy? Because I guarantee you, an individual, an entity, some sort of energy that could create all of this, I want to be on his team. But I'll tell you what, he's going to whoop anyone's ass that gets in my way if they're trying to deflect me from doing what's in his work. So many people are afraid of technology taking over the planet. People are afraid of guns and violence and war and negativity and all this bad juju. It's all, you know what our problem is the bad news media problem. In fact, your Facebook is full of it. Stand up for yourself. Say enough is enough. This is my life. I get to choose what content goes into my eyes. I get to choose what goes into my ears. I get to choose what energy and emotions I feel. And I'm done feeling anything that has to do with fear. I choose love. I choose abundance. I choose joy. I choose enthusiasm. I choose tranquility. The choice is yours. That's what I want to encourage you to do, because yes, we are hitting, the facts are the facts. We are hitting hyperinflation as an economy. It does cost you more to survive as a human being today than any other time in the planet. Think about it. Go back to the 50s, right? Things were great in the 50s. People could afford to buy a house. People could afford to go to the grocery store. People can't even go afford to buy vegetables anymore. Literally, people have to put produce back on the shelf because after they pay their rent, they can barely pay for food. That's the existence that we live in today. Right? And so you've got to realize, wait a second, there's more than just my hustle. There's more than me just waking up for that grind, that 100-hour week grind that Grant Cardone's talking about. That 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, bullshit's gonna drown you out because you're not connecting with the source, which is God, the creator of everything, the person that fills, the individual, the entity, whatever you want to call it, that's gonna fill your lungs with oxygen over and over again. I don't care how much you work. You can't work to create the oxygen in your lungs. That is a free gift to you, right? No matter how much you work, you can't keep that heart pumping if your time's called, right? No matter how hard you work for your family, you can't go back in time and watch your 2-year-old have a second birthday. You can't go back in time and watch your 5-year-old's dance recital, as boring as they are. I know they're boring, trust me. I have a 5-year-old. I went to one tonight, right? You cannot go back in time and relive those moments. So it's extremely important that right now you make a decision. Decide to be happy, decide to be loved, decide to be fulfilled, and not only master this art of this science of success, but also master this art of fulfillment. Appreciate you guys being on here. Ryan, Julio, or Julio, I could totally mess that up. Carlos, Robert, appreciate you guys being on here. One thing that I'm going to ask you guys to do, if this message resonates with you at all, click the share button, man. Give me some thumbs up. I want to know if the value I'm bringing to you guys watching is worth bringing. Right? I know it is for me because I used to grind all the way. I grinded my whole life away, man. I grinded to the point that I wasn't even connecting to my wife anymore. I wanted to just smoke pot and drink alcohol to blur it all out. There's coaches and I'm not saying that you can't have a drink or you can't smoke a bud or whatever, but the moment that you start drowning out reality with these items, with the cell phone, with the pornography, with the drugs, with the alcohol, with everything that keeps you from focused on what's real, which is 3-dimension. And there's coaches and trainers out there that are talking about how it's actually a good thing, right? How they actually believe it's a good thing to have more alcohol in their system or more marijuana in their system. I'm not saying don't drink and don't smoke, but I'm saying be conscious about it. What is your life that you want to create? It's about the conscious creation. And these things are going to control individuals more and more because of the amount of information that's being pumped into the brain. In fact, here's something interesting. It's actually talked about. You've done this before. Hey, what was so-and-so's name, or what's this, or blah, blah, blah. You turn to Google or you ask Siri real quickly. How many times have you turned to Google because you didn't know the answer to something? And 20 years ago, we would have just waited or we wouldn't have known the answer. But today we pull out our phone and we Google it or we say, hey, Siri, right? True or true? Put a yes in the comments if you are guilty of that. I know I am, right? The next step that technology wants to create and forward thinkers are believing to create is, what if you could connect that cloud, the Google and the Siri, straight to your brain, so then instead of picking up your phone and doing it, you just said, let me go to my cloud, got the information. That's the shit that people are wanting to do. Hey, Ben Bertinoli, dude, I was thinking about you today, my friend. David Carroll says, be the best, fuck the rest. My source is my mind. I would highly recommend that you make your source your mind and your heart as well. Your mind and your heart. Connect to that source energy. And the only way you can do it is to get silent in your mind, to be still and know who is God. Because it's not you, it's not me, it's not any of us. In fact, we are simply just instruments if we choose to connect to Him. It's amazing what we can go and do when we choose to do that. And it's also amazing how we can feel on the inside. Get Ryan Damon, the cloud. I mean, think about it. Think about your brain extending into the cloud, right? Like, oh, how many home runs did Babe Ruth hit? I don't know. Let me connect to the cloud. Oh, he hit like 127 that year. I don't know. I'm making shit up now, right? But you get what I'm saying. Like, this is what is coming our way, and you're going to have. Oh, I didn't even mention this. You're going to have a bigger challenge, more and more difficulty as we see virtual reality continue to develop and augmented reality. In fact, in the next 10 years, I believe that virtual reality will be a mainstream thing, that we'll be looking at the phones on a whole nother level. You'll be strapping the motherfuckers to your eyes or some shit, right? Now all of a sudden, it's going to start to trick the brain, and what's fake you think will be real, and what's real you won't even remember what it's like because you're glued to that phone so much. You're glued to the virtual reality, to the augmented reality. This is coming our way. And I'm not saying that it's not going to happen. I'm not saying that you can't participate in it. I'm not saying don't enjoy it. But it's no different than alcohol. It's no different than drugs. It's no different than pornography, right? But it's about being controlled in what you choose to do or choose not to do. It's what you choose to live your life. It's, you know what's one of the biggest drugs today? It's the food you put in your mouth. I mean, think about Thursday and Friday. You know, Thursday came around, it's Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh, you know what? Let's just go ahead. It's Thanksgiving. It's what we do. We get the mashed potatoes, we get the gravy, we get the turkey, we get the bean casserole, we get the sweet potato casserole. We get all this shit and we're going to eat it up, right? Well, guess what? We got leftovers, so Friday, I'm going to heat up the leftovers. I'm going to make that turkey sandwich on that delicious roll. I'm going to eat this shit. Well, you know what? I got a little bit left over. I'm going to eat this pecan pie on Saturday. And you know what I'm talking about because I had some pecan pie. I know from experience, right? This shit's real deal. Y'all dealing with it. How did you feel afterwards? I want you to seriously think about it. How did you feel all day after eating shitty food on Thursday? How many of you woke up on Monday? Today's Monday, right? How many of you woke up maybe just a little bit foggy? Like maybe your goals weren't as important to you today as they were a week ago, right? I know for a fact because I had several of you call me, several of you message me saying, dude, I'm stuck, I'm in a funk, I don't know what's going on. I asked half of you, hey, what'd you have to eat Thursday and Friday? And you all said shit food. You know, I know because I did the same thing. In fact, I had to fight myself this morning to get out of bed and to pray and to meditate myself. That's how easy it is to get off course. If you don't have the habit of prayer and meditation, it's going to be 100 times more challenging to do it. You're going to be more apt to do the shit that temporarily fogs out and numbs your pain, numbs your anxiety, numbs your fear, numbs your doubt. You know what doubt I'm talking about? Am I going to run out of money? Am I going to be able to be successful? The pain you're not thinking about, the fear you're not thinking about, I'm going to die one day. I'm going to pretend like I'm going to live forever, so I'm not going to start living today, right? So you're postponing your life. These fears, these doubt, these worries are real, and right now people are choosing to numb them out. And I hope that you're not, and if you are, reach out to me. I've had several of you reach out to me and tell me about your addictions. Addictions are real. 65% of Americans go to bed with their phone in their hand. 65% of Americans wake up with their phone in their hand. This is what is the reality today, and these numbers are going to be more and more overbearing. Julio or Julio, I don't know if I'm saying it right. If it's Julio, give me a 1. If it's Julio, give me a 2. So I know what's coming up. If I know it's right. He said, I killed today. I was ready for today, and I was excited. I did stuff my face, though, which made me feel like shit. See, 100% proof. Put a yes in the comments if you ate shitty food over Thursday and Friday and you actually began to feel like shit. How does that affect your state? How does that affect your emotion? How does that affect your health? How does that affect your happiness? How does that affect your bank account? Okay, guys, I could roll on this forever. What I would like you to do, though, is to consider one thing. Your entire purpose on this earth is joy. It's joy. You don't even need to find your purpose anymore. I just told you what it is. It's joy. What creates joy? Things that make me feel good. I'll tell you what makes me feel good. I feel better when I eat good food. I feel better when I pray. I feel better when I meditate. I feel better when I create value for you. I feel better that instead of complaining when a problem or a situation arises, that I deal with it with essence and joy. I'll tell you, not everything happens perfect. We've got Cat 5 hurricanes coming at us left and right. True or true? Just the other day on my freeway, for those of you guys in Utah, we had literally a semi-truck full of 80 cattle dump over and dump off of the overpass, right? This shit is happening in our real life. We've got stuff to deal with. We've got flat tires. We've got emergency room visits. We've got broken engines. We got deals falling apart. We got mistakes that we're making with our finances. Some people are losing contracts or losing customers or losing jobs. Some of us are getting our asses knocked to the ground, and by some of us, I mean 7.5 billion of us. Right? I'll give you one of the things, an example on how this works is my daughter tonight, right? She's cool, 5 years old, you've probably seen her, she does back handsprings. In her dance recital, she was set up to do a back handspring and her shoe flipped off and she slipped and fell. You know what she did? She got her ass right back up and continued moving forward. That is the secret to life, isn't it? Is when you get your ass knocked down, you get right back up and you realize, you know what? It's not about, I'm not going to get my ass kicked one day. There's never going to be a day that shit's not beat me down. The only question is the day that do I stop getting up? Or do I keep getting up quicker and quicker? And how do you get up quicker and quicker? Is you get connected to God. You get so connected to His source energy that when other people are getting their ass beat down and you see them getting their ass beat down, you have so much energy. You can reach out to them, you give them a hand, you lift them up. You lift up as many people as you can. And the more people you lift up, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more joy you have and the more your purpose is fulfilled. Thinking of writing a new book. It's called The Fuck Yeah Life. The Moments That Make You Feel Alive. Give me a yes in the comments if you think that's a book I should write. The Fuck Yeah Life. Moments That Make You Feel Alive. Give me a 2 if you think I should not write it. I'd love to get your guys' feedback. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you throwing up some hearts. Appreciate you guys that are part of the Fearless Agent Nation. If you're not already, what the hell you doing? Go join Fearless Agent. Appreciate you guys that are part of Financial Freedom Nation. If you're not already, what the hell you doing? Go get started in the Jumpstart program. Learn to manage your cash flow, because I can tell you the guy that doesn't manage his cash flow over the next 12, 24, 36 months is going to get his ass whooped. And I appreciate those of you guys that are part of the Real Estate Hustlers Mastermind. All right, guys. Thanks. Peace out. Word. We'll see ya. So when you're working, and when you're not, you're turning it off. And you got to be really clear during this time of the year. Otherwise, what is going to happen, and maybe is already starting to happen, instead of spending time with your family, you've got your head stuck in this deal you should be working on or could be working on, or the prospecting you didn't do.